Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toretta and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. And it's nice to have you aboard for Sportsline Trivia for this particular day. We're doing it live on a Monday night on streaming on the internet, and Thursday night for the replay on Comcast Cable, Channel 190. Mike Pavlik joins me tonight, and Mike will make the joint announcement that our next live streaming will be Saturday morning, May 25th, 9 a.m. So hope you're going to be
the old time.
Tuned in.
The old time.
How I missed that.
Maybe another time someday. You never know. We'd like to get back there. But yeah, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock.
All right. First and foremost, probably in everybody's minds are the Pirates and the Penguins. Perhaps more so the Penguins because it is playoff time. But when you think about the Pirates, Mike, and how far above 500 they are, and then you and I were listening to a report today how the Pirates with their payroll, which is how much?
Pirates payroll is in the range of $72 million,
All right.
something like that.
The Pirates have a better record than the two Los Angeles teams, one in each league. If you add them together, the LA Dodgers and the other LA team in the American League, the Angels, have 17 wins each. So they've only won 34, and the Pirates, I think, have won 36. But the Dodgers and the Angels payroll, I think it was like $344 million, which would be 5 times what the Pirates is.
The Pirates are paying $67.7 million themselves. Now, but there's money being paid in there. I believe it's $13 million total.
Well, for A.J. Burnett.
For A.J. Burnett and Wandy Rodriguez by the Astros and the Yankees. So their payroll is gross $80 million, the net of $67 million that the Pirates are actually responsible for and paying. So even 80 is about the highest they've ever had.
So, you know, if you're in LA, you got to be saying to yourself, well, what's going on? We're paying for all this talent?
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are, I think, the bottom of...
The Dodgers are 17-25, 405. That's last place, 7 games back of first place. Arizona, by the way, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And the Angels in the American League West are 17-27, 386 win percentage. The only thing keeping them out of last are the Astros. 12 games behind first place. Texas, the Rangers have the best record in baseball right now, or at least one of them, 659. The Cardinals are at 651. So yeah, Texas does. So those two teams paid all that money, and I like to throw in the third team that paid all the money, and that's Toronto, who went out and just collected up a bunch of guys this year. They're 18-26.
So maybe the Pirate way is the way.
I just hope it lasts this time.
Yeah.
They're good enough. The question is, do they know that?
We've got our first caller ready to go, but let's take a look at rules and regulations on winning a prize. On the program, you call and you chat with us, talk sports, and you only can win a prize every other week. Salami, the mystery profile, can be won only once a month, and you can only try the mystery profile once in a calendar month. Also, the multiple choice questions are 15 seconds. We give you 4 possibilities. The grand salami is at 20, and the mystery profile goes clue by clue. First-time callers will get more than one prize with a correct answer, and if you've not called our show in at least a year, and we do keep track, we'll find out.
Voluminous records.
We'll count you as a new caller. Double Dribble Bob, my website, has the answers to the trivia questions that we ask on the show, plus my radio program, which is heard Saturday morning on WAVL They're 9:10 on the AM dial. I ask a trivia question, but I also give the answer. And I take one of those questions and I put it on the salami list. So if you listen to the program, all you got to do, I mean, your chances are 20%, 1 in 5. Anyway.
25% tonight.
Yeah, we had a knockout number 2 because of
number 2
controversy.
we didn't like it.
Okay.
So just to prove to you guys that we actually read these before we start. We didn't like it, so we made it go away because we're not sure.
Okay. Let's take a commercial pause. Tony is up when we return. Stay aboard. Sportsline Trivia will continue. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a 4th generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from 2 locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square. All right, folks, welcome back here to the program. Again, Bob Tattern with Mike Pavlik for the next, well, we're under an hour now, probably like 52 and a half minutes. Let's go to Tony on the phone. Tony, are you on the phone?
What was number 2 question?
Well, I'll tell you what. Number 2, although it is correct, it's too easy.
Oh, always too easy, huh?
Always too easy. Well, because we kind of gave...
What was it?
It was, let's put it this way, without giving it to you, it was the answer of another question last week, and
Okay.
That's
sometimes that happens.
And I don't want to get into it.
No, and
Forget
sometimes
about it. Let's drop it right now.
we wait for one of them to get hit, and then Bob just knocks the other one out.
Well, we finally completed our 3 Stooges coaching staff. Curly's with the Pirates. Moe's with the Steelers, and Larry showed up last night on the hockey team.
He kind of did, didn't he?
This is so. See, I've been telling you I don't like this guy. That guy is a brainless twit. And all his other coaches that let an idiot, you have a power play, you put your power play team out there and want him to play defense? Are you crazy? You drop the puck in so they can bring the puck up and pull their goalie? Are you crazy? If you wanted to play defense, put in your defense that shut him down for the whole third period.
He's got one of 2 ways to go. And I wouldn't have been upset if he would have gone with his full power play and tried to score another goal.
Naturally, that's what I'm saying. Did you hear what I said?
Right.
He puts him in, and they wants him to play defense. If they went down and tried to score, that's great. That wasn't the case. They were dumping it in. In fact, one time I think Malkin passed the puck to one of the other players. Say, here, have it.
You never did. Yeah, I mean, when was the last time you saw a power play dump it in? You gained the zone.
Oh,
I mean,
my
here's
God.
Here's my other question.
Jones. You know what? I shut it off. And I didn't watch the overtime, and guess what, guys? I'm not watching the rest. I hope they lose the next 3 in a row. They deserve it. Get rid of that knucklehead Jones. I'm sorry. He's no coach. You know what? With all that talent, he should stay home and they can call him and tell him how bad they won. he screws that team up so bad, it's unbelievable. That goalie did not deserve that loss last night.
No, he did not.
The whole team did.
No, they didn't. Here's the part that bothered me. And my criticism will be this: why wasn't Sidney Crosby on the ice? Now, I haven't heard that one yet. He wasn't on the ice, and the first thing that happened was when the regulation ended, the the stat sheet didn't list Malkin as being on the ice. Well,
He was.
He was there, not checking someone. Okay.
Oh yeah, he was. He took the play off.
He did, and so did Kunitz. Which
a lot
kills,
of them did last night.
That
And
hurts
you know
me to
what?
say
That was
that.
mentioned on that Canadian show. You know, they have that show. What do they call it?
What, with
Night
Don
in
Cherry?
Canada or something, or after that, or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Hockey Night in Canada, right?
Yeah, well, that was mentioned how many plays some of the players of the Penguins took off. They was like skating in Central Park, on an October night with your girlfriend,
Exactly.
going up and down the ice, and how many shots, open nets they missed. Not having their stick down, the puck going past them, and that. Oh, it was just. It looked like it didn't want to win. It looks like the game was fixed. Let's give him this game. I don't know.
That was a nightmare, and I'll tell you, we're not going to know for sure until the series is over, or at least until the next game is played.
Yeah.
But that might be that may rank up there. Now, if they go on and win the next 2 games, it's an afterthought.
Which I think is what's going to happen.
I think you may
Well,
be
you
right,
think,
Bob.
I know.
But if they don't, and they end up losing this series, that's going to rank right at the top.
Oh no! Well, hey, number 1, buddy.
And maybe number 1, absolutely. With just that little bit of time left, that was to me is like, and all I kept saying was, "You have to be kidding me."
Hockey's Benghazi.
Yeah, and here's the part that kills me. This pushes. Then they go 2 overtimes. This pushes my Mad Men viewing back to after midnight. I mean, it was ridiculous.
I know. And now they're not playing till Wednesday.
Right.
What does TV control everything?
It does. The mighty dollar has spoken.
Oh, well, hey, now you were talking about payrolls here when you first came on.
Right, and I'm glad I did. I knew you were going to rub off on that.
Well, I want to say, you said 2 teams. Between the 2, what's their payroll?
300 and
Yeah. Over
300?
$350 million between if you had the Dodgers and Angels together.
Oh, if you add them together.
Yeah.
And if you doubled the Pirates, it'd be 160, right?
right now, Tony. Here's the comparison. If you add the victories of the American League Angels and the National League Dodgers, they have won less than the Pirates have this year. And the Pirates' payroll, what did we say it was 62 or 80?
It's 80.
80.
But the Pirates wouldn't spend 80. So we're going with the 67 number because that's
So
what they
we're
would
roughly
spend.
20% or
Right,
thereabouts.
the Angels are 137 million.
Is this the end of the season, or
This year.
It's not even a half a season yet, and you guys are saying between the 2 LA teams, it's 300 million. The Pirates, and look how many. See me at the end of the season,
Well, sure.
and let me know where the LA teams are and the Pirates are.
Well, that's what I asked somebody. We were talking about this the other night. They said, "Do you think the Pirates are good?"
Are you guys desperate? Really? That desperate? Hoping? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, do you think the Pirates are good enough? I said, sure, I think they're good enough. I said, but that doesn't mean anything. They were good enough last year too.
And the year before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have good.
Up to a certain point, then they decide, well, let's not play anymore.
Yeah, they
we
get
did
scared to death.
You know, so. Oh,
So
well,
we don't know when that. I said, we don't know when that's going to come. We expect it's going to come. We just don't know when. That's the thing.
Well, you just buy your time and hope for the best. But I don't know. We'll see. They got a weak bench. Look who they had to put in to pinch it. The night they lost. They got nothing on the bench.
Oh, I was at that one. I really enjoyed that one. I grumbled the whole time. He messed that game up so bad. I mean, he messed that game up so bad in about 3 different places that it just drove me up the wall. And his choice of pinch hitters and when he decided it is.
Oh my God!
It is. And then he wouldn't use Pedro. Now here's the thing. He was scared of whatever jabroni left-handed pitcher they had warming up in their bullpen. So he wouldn't bring him in. He had him on the on deck circle at one point.
I watched it.
But he pulled him off because he wouldn't use him to pinch hit. It's like, in a pinch hitting role, he's the ideal guy because you're looking to get the one swing.
Hey, I've seen him hit home runs off of left-handers.
Sure. Well, they were talking tonight on the radio, and I agree with this 100%. He's a better batter against left-handed pitching than Neil Walker is.
Oh, Neil the Thrill? Neil the Thrill's hurting this team. They could be winning a lot of games by more runs. I mean, now he's sticking from both sides of the plate.
Yeah.
He's really gone downhill.
He's having a rough go
I don't know
of
if
it.
he's still injured or what, but he's really gone downhill.
Well, yeah,
you know what? Just throw a left-hander out there and half your power has to sit down.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
That
is pathetic.
That's a problem. Exactly. That's a problem. And you know, they don't hit enough for my liking anyway. But I think that they should hit more than they do. And I think, you know, they're still 10th in the National League in runs. It's okay. It's a good thing their pitching's carrying it. But like we said, you know that's not going to continue.
You know, then Alvarez turned it down, going to play winter ball. You know, I think they wanted to send Donner, you know, maybe teach him maybe how to hit a little bit better and swing at, you know, pitches that, you know, that he could hit. Or I don't know.
Seriously though,
I watched Jones. He'd be a heck of a rugby. What do they call it? Rugby or no? What's that English game? Cricket.
Cricket. He loves swinging at the
you know,
ones
when
on
it
the ground.
bounces and you hit it. Oh my God, he could be the star over there.
He could be. But seriously, you look at a guy like Alvarez. Now you've watched, played, coached baseball all your life. You look at this guy.
I know. Yeah.
You look at this guy at the plate. I mean, what his biggest problem to me, it seems, is the pitch recognition, that he seems to be slow to process what the pitch is. Because I've never seen a guy with that much power and that good of a bat swing through so many mediocre fastballs that are right down the middle. It's almost like the light goes on, uh-oh, it's a fastball, but he's already too late.
Yeah, whoa, it's in the glove. Oh, was that a strike? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, it was. You know, I just don't understand. Hey, he ain't the only one that does that.
No.
No, he ain't the only one. You know, I mean, they don't like him down the middle. They like him over their head, behind them, one bounce. You know, anything like that is good. You know, I just don't know. But
let me pipe in.
You know what? You know, like Bob Prince said once, Alvarez has enough power to hit it out of any park, including Yellowstone.
He does.
Well,
he does. And you know what? You have to go with the pitch. Here's a perfectly good outside pitch. They keep trying to pull it. You get lucky once in a while, you'll pull it, but most of the time it'll be a pop-up.
Well, he did the right thing yesterday.
Or a ground ball to the second baseman.
He took that pitch on the outside corner yesterday, and he barely flicked the bat, and he hit it 310 feet.
And put it out.
Well, let me ask the both of you. Do you think he stands too far back in the box?
No, I don't think you start.
I don't know.
See, I've heard that
you're talking
before.
Closer to home plate or deep in the box?
Well, here's what I noticed the other night.
All batters stand deep in the box, Bob. They got their foot on that back line or even over the back line.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you were talking about
to give
hits.
them a little bit more time.
You were talking about swinging at the pitches that are low.
To pitch and that they hit it. I mean, you know, they all do it. You know.
Well, here's another one. I noticed this the other night because of where I was sitting. But McCutchen is so right on top of the plate. Both the toes, both of his feet are touching. The front of his feet are touching the batter's box line close to home plate. He is that much up on the plate, McCutchen.
Yeah, and then his left foot is back, but when he lifts it to come over, he's right on the line.
Right, he's squared. Is he? And you know, Oliver used to hit like that. Oliver had his front foot pulled back, and then when he would stride into the pitch, because they don't teach you to stride into the pitch anymore. But back in those days you did.
Look,
yeah, back in those days you did. When he'd stride into the pitch, he would actually come into the pitch like this. Kutch actually brings it, and he's completely square by the time he's ready to go. But I think it gives you a better look. And I did that, and I would teach that. That if you were having trouble seeing the ball and you were having trouble making out the spin, that I would suggest to open it and then kind of close it.
I got to cut the both of you off. We're up with a hard break here.
All right, real quick. All right, Bob, do I earn that 5 seconds? All right, listen. As much as I hate this guy, who has hit the most home runs in Major League Baseball all time?
Barry Bonds.
Who hit the most home runs in 1 year?
Barry Bonds.
Who broke a record of having the most walks in a year?
Barry Bonds.
There you go. He said, if the pitch ain't where I want it, I don't swing.
That's right.
People, ball players, listen.
Exactly.
Pick. You got a favorite spot? If it ain't there, forget it. Don't go after it. You're just killing yourself.
Oh, and you know, kids would tell you this when they come back. Why did you swing at that pitch? Well, it was a strike. It was the first one. You get 3. Wait for one you like. When it's 2 strikes and it's a strike, then you got to swing at it.
I know. Okay, Bob, trivia.
I'm with you.
All right. Now you can't take number 2, so it's 1, 3, 4, and 5. Can you hear me, Tony?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can barely, but go ahead.
Wow. Okay. What's the number?
4.
All right. Can I do this one? All right. Here we go. All right. Tom Seaver pitched in the All-Star games of 1968 and 13 years later in 1981. And in both of those games, he faced a common batter. One guy he faced in 68 was back as an all-star 13 years later. Please identify.
Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. Where the... Tom Seaver faced this guy. Now, 13 years later, he faced the guy again. Oh, my God. 1968, he faced him the first time.
Right.
And then 13 years later.
Well, Tony, to help you out, you got to think about
Jeez,
who.
Man, I don't know where you're from, boy. I'll tell you, it's coming to the point where forget it. I mean, Einstein couldn't get these. Who the heck knows? 13 years later, heck, 68.
Think about an American.
I know, Willie Stargell. What the heck do I know?
No, come on, Tony. American.
Well, forget about it. How am I supposed to guess that? That's an impossible question. But Mike, did you get it?
No.
Okay,
No.
I mean, you know, you got 25 guys on an all-star team.
When I saw the answer, it jogged it. Okay, Willie Stargell's not it. Now listen to this. Not only do these two guys have that in common.
Mickey Mantle, I don't know.
No, they also have.
Idea who would be.
They also
Okay,
have
no problem.
August 4th, 1985. They also have that day in common.
Hey,
Then
guys,
on
you know,
August 4th,
you guys
1980,
are fading in and out. I don't know why.
Tom Seaver won his 300th game on August 4th, 1985.
All right.
Yeah.
Rod Carew got his 3,000th hit on August 4th, 1985.
Yeah,
And Rod Carew's the
that
answer.
one I knew.
Rod Carew's the answer.
Oh, you're
These two are they're
okay.
All right.
joined together.
Hey guys, thank you.
All right,
Tony, thanks.
Bye.
He sounds upset.
He was mad. He didn't like the question. Bob, that's a great question. And as soon as I saw it, I went to the Google machine and found that
Yeah.
those two are
They
the
celebrate
threads
August
sort
5th,
of they
yeah.
crossed on many occasions.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and we'll talk with more folks right here on Comcast Sportsline Trivia. Don't go away.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys, Lower Borough.
Folks, you got to check out Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. They feature pre-owned Lexus products. Let their experienced sales staff help you in selecting your next vehicle. 30 years plus at the same location. Just buy it at Tower Auto Sales. Give Mike Fano a call at 412-828-6202. Mike, we're going to go to the phones and pick up John.
Okay.
Who is not in Erie today.
He's
but
home today.
He's still, I think, John, are you still looking for work?
No, well, I'm still looking for work in the sports realm, guys. But you know how that goes. It takes a while to break in.
Yes.
And John from Erie works with a moniker. I say John from Springdale, and everyone's like, who? All right, sure, we'll get you on.
Exactly.
First
Who's
time
that
caller?
guy? Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, I was really surprised to hear that it wasn't Vokun who was being taken to the cleaners already, but Bilesma. I figured this would be the first time everyone gets on the pitchfork bandwagon and just says, all right, it's time for Flory to get it back.
Exactly. Well, I heard it once this morning, and I tried to avoid sports talk today. Now, normally, I like to listen to it on a Monday and see what the talk is, but the first time I've talked about the Penguin game to anyone was the first time when I talked to Tony about 10 minutes ago. I haven't talked about it at all. Anytime somebody would bring it up, I'd say next subject. I don't want to deal with it because I figure I'll talk to you guys. But no, I heard it this morning, and the little bit I heard on the fan that somebody did say was it time to change goalies, and I always yell into the radio, he's lost his job. It's not his job anymore. The people that say, well, when is Fleury going to play? You might as well be saying, when is Robert Bortuzzo going to play? It's the same thing. It isn't any different. Now, if Vokun gives up 7 goals, it'll be up, as I said last week, it will be apparent when Marc-Andre Fleury's going to play.
I was going to say, I've been quoting you all week. I hope you're not changing stories too much here.
Exactly. And I'll tell you,
it'll be apparent.
I blame the players for that goal even more than I blame Bilesma. But the bone that I pick with Bilesma is, I don't care what you're trying to do. I don't care if you were just going to lay back and play defense. I don't care if you were going to take your power play and take it in an attack. Where was Sidney Crosby? Why wasn't he on the ice?
Didn't he play just the shift before, though? I mean, wasn't he on there for a while?
He may have, but there was only, how much time was left when the penalty was taken? There was still
about a minute.
There was only a minute and 20. I mean, there was only a minute and 20 because they had 30-some seconds coming back out of the break.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
He couldn't play a minute and 20? I think he could. And he was out there, he would have been out there. And the last person, in either case, killing it or scoring it, that I want out there is Brandon Sutter. I don't want him out there for that. I think they missed Vitaly in that situation last night. But that's, if the minute the puck went in the net, Bilesma knew he was just going to take the heat no matter what he did. But the thing that bothered me, and he said it, that when Kunin stumped it, he said Kunin stumped it, which is what we wanted. So it sounded like he was trying to get a change, but I don't know why you would need a change when Letang stood behind his net for 25 seconds. Nobody moved. I said the minute he stood back there, I said 4 corners. Just come back there and wait till somebody comes up to get it. And they didn't forecheck.
I couldn't believe they didn't sit on it. All you got to do is sit on that puck. You have one job. One job is sit on the puck.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if they forecheck one guy and one guy comes in, well, then you do your breakout and you come out. But I just didn't get the part of dumping it in once you got to the blue line. I didn't get that part because it's a power play, and if you hold it in there, the goalie can't come off, which means it's still a power play. You can pass it around the ring if you want.
I remember
I thought possession
early
might have been the key.
2000s. There was the Colorado Avalanche had a similar situation where they waited and they sat on the puck for a good minute before the crowd started throwing things on the ice. They actually had to stop the game with 30-some seconds left, clean the ice, and then they sat on the puck for another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And ended the game with a win. I don't get why we did it was a minute 30. Just wait.
Just stay back there until eventually they were going to. It was like a basketball game where you had the lead. You pulled the ball out, and the other team was playing zone. Is exactly what it reminded me of. And until they came out and started playing you man, you weren't forced to move. But so those two things are the minute the puck went in the net, the coach knows he's going to get skewered for it. But they can fix it all by winning tomorrow, and then.
John, how optimistic are you that we can win the last game? It's Wednesday night in Ottawa, and then come back home and win Friday in Pittsburgh.
Rather confident. I mean, there's no reason. I figured, sweeps are uncommon. It's nice. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. But it's so rare to actually sweep a team. 5 games is reasonable against an Ottawa team that really had no business being this far. I'm amazed. I mean, they are the surprise of the playoffs with how they upset Montreal and how effectively they upset Montreal. That can only last so long.
And you know what, John? They are also a very, very young hockey team.
They are.
Absolutely.
They are. You look at, a promise for the future. How about that kid Peugeot or Pajou or
my favorite is
what were they called?
My favorite is Zibanejad, who I of course call Ahmedinejad.
I've been doing that too all week. Ahmedinejad.
Ahmedinejad. I said, wait a second.
Iran doing on the ice. I didn't know he played for the Senators.
Exactly, but they are. They're young and they're good, and they But to the Penguins' advantage, Carlson doesn't look like himself. Obviously, Spezza, the first game back, I mean, he was probably sucking pond water by the time you get into a second overtime like that. And the other thing that Bob Airy mentioned this morning on the radio, which I didn't really notice because I clicked it off as soon as it was over. Mark Eaton lost his stick on the winning goal in the corner. And Airy said that if Mark Eaton doesn't lose his stick, and he made the split-second decision to go get it rather than to stay where he was.
No.
And he said he was back just a split second too late. He said if Eaton doesn't lose his stick, that puck never goes in either. The reason the Penguins lost last night was because they only scored one goal. And for the Penguins to win, they need to be scoring goals. And the reason they scored one goal was because Craig Anderson was unbelievable, which 1 out of 3 games he was unbelievable. So is he going to be unbelievable then for 3 more games out of the next 4? I don't think so.
You know,
That's
I mean,
how they
it's
win.
also been 5 periods of that game. So that's a game and a half as it is. The guy's streak's only going to go so far. He might do well through half of this next game. It might be a very close one. I don't see it beyond that. I think the Pens take it in 5, and that's what I've been sticking with.
Right. So, if that happens, then that game will just be a footnote. But if Ottawa comes back and wins that game, that may be the worst loss in Penguin history.
Yeah,
It
well,
might be.
either way, I've had all sorts of people going, if they lose this series, they deserve it. Like, really? That escalated quickly. Come on, guys. It was double overtime.
Yeah, seriously, they played well for 3 games. They really have. And they played, and last night might have been the best game they played, except for one brain cramp with 30 seconds to go.
And Jeremy Roenick was very, very flattering to the Penguins after. He's like, both of these teams have played excellent. And
Yeah.
Bo Kuhn, despite that last shot, had an excellent game.
Of course he was flattering. He was happy they lost.
Well, I mean, this was just when it went to overtime.
Yeah.
Personally, I loved that broadcast crew last night. I was really impressed. Apparently, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning's play-by-play guy,
I love
Brian Engblom.
Rick
And they did a
Peckham.
great job for once.
Rick Peckham used to be was the voice of the Hartford Whalers.
Real? Well, that explains that.
And I always liked the guy. He did games with Jerry Cheevers for like 100 years. Paul's out here shaking his head because he's the big Hartford Whalers guy out in the island.
Go well.
Good old days indeed. And those guys, they did the Whalers forever. And
Can I ask a question? Speaking of broadcast crews, whatever happened to Gary Thorne?
Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore
Yeah,
Orioles.
he's
Jim
purely
Palmer.
with ESPN. The ESPN doesn't carry hockey.
Right.
This is the story I
So
always
he does the Orioles games on Masson with Jim Palmer, and that is one of the best broadcasts to listen to. Get friends that have the MLB package so you can watch all the games. Works out great, and you get to hear and some of the broadcasts are just so good to listen to. And believe me, I could listen to Jim Palmer talk about baseball all day.
Oh, he's
terrific, and then you put him and Thorne
exceptional.
together. Oh, right.
Exceptional.
You put Palmer and Gary Thorne together. That's in the top 5 of broadcast crews in my opinion. But another one of my favorites is the Boston guys, Jerry and Remy. I love those guys. That's where Gary Thorne is. But he's not doing those anymore. I see they farmed John Forsland out west, which is a good place for him.
John, let's do some trivia.
All right, if you got some hockey, you know I want it.
Oh, I can't do that, John. You got to take what's in rotation.
What's next?
In fact, looking at the whole thing, baseball. Well, there is one, number 3. I can't go to that, John. We got to go in order. Baseball.
Oh, you can't give me number 3? I thought Tony got the pick.
No,
He picked the salami.
that's salami.
Oh, that's why.
Baseball.
All right, never mind.
Football. Yeah. Sorry.
Killing me, Bob. Killing me.
Well, what do you want to do? You don't have to do multiple choice. I mean, you've got the salami. I can't say that it's going to be easier than the last one we put in for Tony, but
That was rough.
Well, you know if it's not hockey, it's going to be a guess. So I'm going to go with multiple choice.
all right, Mike.
Probably the best way to go. All right, John, here we go. This is number 6 for us tonight. Who was the first pitcher to throw a 9-inning complete game no-hitter and lose? And the answer is not Jose De Leon. The first pitcher to throw a 9-inning complete game no-hitter and lose. Here are your choices. Lefty Grove, Whitey Ford, Ken Johnson, Robin Roberts.
Whitey Ford.
It is not Whitey Ford. The answer is Ken Johnson.
Was that Houston, by the way?
Did it with the Houston Astros back in the early 60s. Robin Roberts didn't do it either, and neither did Matt Lauer. Or George
Where in the world is
Stephanopoulos.
he?
Yes.
Hey, John, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good evening. In the meantime, we have a break. We'll come back and chat more with some sports folk right after this time out.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnituring.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
You know, when it comes to hand-tossed pizzas, gyro sandwiches, subs, and hoagies, and things like that, even the Iron Man hoagie, Mattio's is the place to go. They're at 1000 Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge Heights. 724-904-7312 is the number. Everything on their menu is made with quality ingredients, and that's why people proudly pass the word about their great food. Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights. All right, folks, don't forget my radio show Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock right here. Right here. My radio show's not right here.
No.
It's on WAVL.
Well, for the people at home, it can be if the radio's in the same room as the television.
And by the way, our next streaming show Saturday morning, May 25, and that will be at 9 a.m. Hope that you're going to be able to participate and take part. In the meantime, let's go to the limo man who's up next. And Bruce, welcome to the show.
Hi, Robert.
Hey.
Good morning, Bruce.
Sound good today.
I'd say good morning. You had me ready for morning.
I wish the business was as good as that. Some awful cheap people around here.
You're talking a little bit low, so.
Speak up.
I said there's a lot of cheap people around here.
A lot of cheap people
a lot of
around
cheap
here?
people around here?
There is. They want everything for nothing.
Wow.
Worse than the Jews in Squirrel Hill. Right.
What's on your mind sports-wise?
I see a guy from Uniontown died, Chuck Muncie, number 46.
I saw that.
You know, that was a couple of days ago.
It was,
wasn't
yeah, it was, well, since our last show. You know, when the last time I was down there for a football game, one of the press box guys who had been around for a long time and watched Chuck Muncie play in high school was regaling us with stories about, they knew, even when he was in high school, how good he was.
Yeah.
I saw him play for the Chargers against the Steelers in that playoff game, and I believe it was 1980.
There's a statue of him in Uniontown High School.
Uniontown High School, yeah, and great player, had drug problems, cleaned himself up, and became a counselor for youth out in California, and had done a really good job with that. So, and died young. So Chuck Muncie, yes.
And my buddy Jimmy Nance is 54 years old. I called him in Pebble Beach, where he lives, with a nice Jewish woman, of course.
He just lost his buddy Ken Venturi, died this week.
Yeah, I was just going to read that to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
May 17th, he died.
Yeah, it was here's the thing about Ken Venturi, who was.
You know, he just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken. You look it up.
It might have been like Wednesday or something. Yeah, he had just turned, I believe it was at 74. 80, I'm sorry, 82.
And gold medal gymnast Olga Korbat is 58 years old, catching up to Bob Tatter.
Olga Korbat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bart Connor is
seems like Jamie McCourt must be on the right track, because she asked for a new trout, she wants more money.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that old Frank owns now, I think, are the parking lots, but he can't get any money for parking at Dodger Stadium. The only thing he can get is if they sell it and develop it, he gets the money off of that, and the Dodgers say they're never going to sell them. That's the only thing he got, and Now, I guess they can't open that back up. She can't get her hands on the baseball team. That's what she wanted.
She wants $770 million more.
Ooh,
More.
that's all.
She should be Jewish.
$750 million.
The Jews would love that. That's right, especially after they eat at the Smallman Street Deli with Jeff Cohen.
There you go.
That's right. And let's see, George Brett is getting up there in years.
60.
Yeah.
And I know that because they had a surprise birthday party for George last week, and they at one of the local country clubs in Kansas City, they had a surprise birthday party, and a lot of people came, and George was definitely surprised. They kept it a secret from him, and that was good. So one of the greatest hitters I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Rush loves him.
He went
And
to
the
he
Pirates
went.
will
That's
be
how I
playing-
found out.
Pirates will be playing the Cubbies starting tomorrow.
Yeah, the Cubs are in for three.
Then we have a home and away with Milwaukee.
Detroit. They will play 3 at Milwaukee this coming weekend,
Again,
over the holiday
Milwaukee.
weekend, and then 2 at home Monday and
With
Tuesday at
Detroit.
Detroit, and then Wednesday and Thursday in
And-
Pittsburgh against Detroit.
Okay.
I bet you they give Jim Whalen a standing ovation when he comes.
He probably will get one.
Yeah. Still lives in Mount Lebanon, beautiful house.
And also,
Not far from Jim Nance's in-laws.
Jim Nance's in-laws, right?
Right. And I am not eligible this week, but the 2 prizes that you sent me were really great.
Okay, appreciate it. You went to the Hot Dog Guys and,
also
Golden Dawn. There's a
Golden
small
Dawn,
certificate
nice
for
Jewish
Golden
boy.
Dawn.
Golden Dawn is
Michael
wonderful.
Moses.
All right, Bruce, thanks for the call.
And a long drive in deep right center field, and this ball is for Gino Peluso.
All
You
right.
better start advertising again.
You better.
Good night, Lemo.
All right, one of the 2 guys in the audience, if you'll step up to the mic
Say
and
good
go
night,
ahead.
Lemo.
We'll get rolling again here. Chris is here
Chris
with
is
us
here?
tonight. Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Good evening, Bob. Good evening, Mike. How are
Good
you?
evening. How are you?
Thanks for
Real
making
good.
the
It's a
trip.
pleasure to be here again.
Well,
Okay, my question is, I think it was a shame that we lost that Penguin game with that 30 seconds. I think we could have taken it. My whole thing is I'd like to see them go to Calgary and Pittsburgh. I'd like to see that game at least one there. And if we don't win the series, we don't win the series. What are you going to do? At least we finish up the season in Pittsburgh. But I have faith we're going to win the game.
I think we're going to win Wednesday and we're going to win Friday at home.
I'd like to. I also would like to see us play Detroit somewhere along the standings.
By the way,
If we get that far.
did they have the Consol Energy Center open for the away games where the crowd could go and watch?
I don't think inside. I know they had.
Somebody told me it was inside.
It's outside in the Jumbotron gym, or Bob.
Yeah, they had. I know they had the big screen outside, but I don't know. It's possible.
Somebody said that they were going to do it inside, and I've
Maybe
not
they
heard.
haven't. Yeah, I don't know.
First of all, in case it rains,
Right. you could
all
open up
that sort of thing.
Sure. Those kids don't care. They trail their couches across the street.
I question that if they do it inside, is it still $5? Is it $5 to get in, or is it still
I think
free?
that's the max, something like that.
Because I know it was free if you watch it outside.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's free if
how
you watch it
about
outside.
that?
Because I remember when Sherry and I went down, it was $5 to get in.
That was.
That was in 09.
That's the Penguins. That's the Penguins planting the seeds for their future fan base.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad idea. That's the kiddie table there, and they can't wait to get to the grown-up table.
Yeah.
So anyway, no matter how you look at it, you get the cash, and cash talks. You know what I mean? Money talks.
It pays. It
Yeah.
spends. And Mario's not dumb. So.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You get an extra buck, you build something for somebody.
Well, the parking folks make out, there's, you got to put the car somewhere.
Yo, sure, in
And-
town, if nothing else, they wherever they have to park,
And what I like so far, at least, I've not heard of any antics going on.
No,
jockeying
they
for
seem to be
positions
well
where
behaved.
you
They
don't
seem
have
to
any
be.
fights going on or anything.
I just
like
hate to
that,
be the
so.
security guard down there. I like what I'm doing right now. I just don't want to get in that middle of that mess.
Yeah, Chris, are you eligible this week?
Yes, I am for multiple choice, please.
All right, is it my turn?
I believe so.
Bob, please.
What are we on number 7?
I don't know, Bob. I wasn't paying too much.
Okay, Chris, you get number 7.
Okay.
And it's a Steelers question, so let's take a look. Who holds the Pittsburgh Steelers record for most seasons played? All right, you've got 4 choices. They are Dick Hoke, Ernie Stottner, Whizzer White, and Mike Webster.
I'm going to go with Dick Hoke.
Well, not a bad choice, but it was Mike Webster.
Okay.
So, Mike,
Jeanette's own.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Jeanette's own Dick Hoke. This, by the way, Steelers, since we mentioned. 6th round pick Vince Williams signed today. Linebacker out of Florida State. So that's 2 draft picks already. The system's different now, and everything's slotted. So you pretty much know how much you're going to make. So he signed Shamarko Thomas, the 4th round safety out of Syracuse, signed last week. So already 2 picks are in the fold. They're having their organized team activities starting this week, which are voluntary. And so they will voluntarily show up on the south side and practice here for the next couple of weeks. And if you don't come, Mike Tomlin will be very upset.
all right. Paul joins us in the studio audience here tonight. Paul, thank you for making the trip and sharing some time with us.
Hey, no problem.
What's on your cranium?
A couple things. You think the Kings would, if they make it to the finals against the Pens, you think the Kings would be able to beat the Pens, or that would be a good matchup, I would think.
I think there are 2 teams that are just loaded in the West, and that's the Kings and the Blackhawks.
Right.
Yeah.
And you really can't discount Detroit yet. They played very well the last game against Chicago, but the Kings.
I'm listening to the experts, the so-called experts, on the games that we watch, and they're saying Chicago's got to make it for whatever reason. I think it's unanimous, but then again,
All I know is that the Kings won the Stanley Cup last year, and it's still pretty much the same team that's back.
And they won 6 in a row. So.
And they did that last year. Remember, they were up 3-0 in all 4 of their series last year.
Right.
wow.
I mean, that's hard to blow that.
And they don't even need Marcel Dion.
No, or Dave Taylor, or Bernie Nichols. So, yeah, they're going to be a tough out. I would really like to see that series.
Right.
I would like to see Chicago against the Kings and see what would happen there. I think goaltending would be very important there. Jonathan Quick has won, and that's very important.
Yeah, don't count the Rangers out either, I think. Because
I'm not yet either. You know why? Because, like I always say, the series doesn't start till somebody wins a game on the road.
Right.
And that's...
By the way, the Boston game where they came back after being down
the
4 games to 1.
Right.
It had to be so far, at least I think, the game of all postseason play. And I could be wrong. I don't know if you have one that you think would top it.
All I could think of was Randy Carlisle coaching the Maple Leafs and watching his team completely fall apart at the end, and then thinking of 1982 when he was playing for the Penguins, and they completely fell apart at the end
against the
Islanders, and he was on the ice for all 3 of the last 3 goals. And the Penguins tried to kill their own power play that night too, and it didn't work out so well. And yeah, I thought of Randy. It kind of follows him around a little bit.
Yeah. 2 more quick things. What did you think of the Preakness race?
Well, Orb didn't win, so I was wrong. So
Yeah.
I haven't done so well so far.
And the last one is, what year does Pitt and Penn State play football? Does that begin?
I think it's 2014. Does that sound right?
Oh, that close.
I think it's 14 or 15.
Let me get to a question, let both you guys chime in here.
Okay.
Regarding icing the puck. And of course, if you're back first to touch the puck, you're the guy that wins.
Right.
Okay. Injuries have occurred with it. It's a crazy rule to a lot of people, and some other folks just don't want to see it go away because it's tradition.
Right.
How do you feel about it? Would you like to have it replay? I mean, one of these days, somebody's going to get hurt bad.
I think it
I mean, as soon as it goes to the line, it crosses, whoever hit it down here, it should be icing, but it doesn't work out that way.
There's I think the international rule, and I know Ed Olczyk really likes this one, and that is that you can race back to the dot. You race back to the face-off dot, and if the defender is first to the face-off dot, whistle blows. So you see how far away you are from the boards.
Oh yeah, quite a distance.
Quite a distance from the boards. So the race is back to the dot. If it's a tie, or if the offensive player has the lead in the race, then they let it go. Now it can still be icing. Then it goes to the touch.
All right. What if one's going to one dot and the other one's going down to the other?
They're going to have to
watch like crazy,
and they're going to have to watch. But I like that better than the internet. And then also, I believe the international rule is that the minute, like you said, the minute it crosses the goal line, whistle blows, icing.
Right.
And that's in the Olympics. I know that. I don't know. But you're right. And they put a penalty in this year specifically to target that. And there, I've seen it called because they wanted to leave the race back and leave that part. But when the guy's back is to you, and
I know.
it is.
They
really
should change it before somebody gets hurt, is my opinion.
I'd like to see them try that. And the way they used to do this was they would do it in preseason and see if they liked it.
Oh, yeah, right.
So they would, maybe next preseason, we're going to try that rule in preseason and see what it looks like. Right. And then all the GMs will get a chance to look at it, and then you vote on it at their next meeting, and then they would adopt it for the following year, which I think is a great way to do it. I think that, maybe they should give that a shot.
And do you think penalties would go down if they changed they went back to, you could score as many goals as you want to on the power play versus like what they do now, one goal and
that's a thought. I kind of like thinking about that one for a while.
Just leave them in there when it's 2 minutes.
Because you got these goons, so-called goons that are out there slapping
not so
people.
Many.
I know they're not.
Because that's how the Canadians scored, all those, goals because
they didn't. You weren't allowed to pop back out of the box.
Yeah, I think penalties would go down if they
possible.
said.
It's possible. That would be another one you could try in the preseason to see if it would work out. I don't know, but that's a thought.
I don't know why they changed that. So.
Yeah, let's do some trivia.
Okay, multiple choice.
Okay, so apparently we're not going to get anybody on the profile tonight.
It'll just have to roll over it. It stumped me, people. If you want to try, maybe.
I'm ineligible
you get in on a Saturday morning for that. You might want to try that. Okay, here we go, Paul.
Your turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Multiple. Who was the first member of baseball's 40-40 club? That's 40 homers, 40 stolen bases. Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco, Alex Rodriguez, Alfonso Soriano.
Barry Bonds.
That is not correct. The answer is Jose Canseco, 40-40.
Now, all four of these guys mentioned as a multiple choice are in, and they're the only members of the 40-40. There are only four members.
Right, and Canseco's the one that did it first.
Canseco, you got it. Okay, good try, but so far tonight we have no winners.
Right.
We owe for our last break.
Literally, that late already.
Yeah.
What time flies when you're having fun?
Yeah, we are. Okay, back in a moment, folks. Don't go away. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
Tower Auto Sales has 3 indoor showrooms, a full-service facility with an experienced staff. They have all makes and models available, and if you want a Lexus product, they can get it for you. Tower Auto Sales, Freeport Road in Blawnox. Call Mike Fanto at 412-828-6202, and it was Mike who taught me how to say, just buy it, at Tower Auto. So, Mike, we have a couple of minutes to go before we close up shop.
Right. I wanted to throw in a note about Mike Sandarski at Highlands, who is, I want to say retiring, but he's too young to retire. He's resigning after 18 years as the softball coach at Highlands, 3 section titles. And I guess a 5-year-old and an 18-month-old will make you want to spend more time at home. Or the wife wanted to spend more time at home. So Mike is going to pack it in and call it a career, at least for now. You never know. He could come back at a later date. And he nearly pulled off a 16-1 upset in the playoffs last week against Greensburg-Salem. They were winning, and they were going into the last inning and gave up 3 straight hits. Ended up losing the game, and it put him in mind. I read the story in the paper by Bill Beckner today about the 16-1 football match up in 2001 when Highlands went to Uniontown, as we talked about Uniontown before here, as a 16 seed against the number 1 seeded Uniontown and beat Uniontown 30-20 on their way to the semifinals that year. And the thing, and I remember Mike was the offensive coordinator, and he called the plays, and in Uniontown's press box, the coaches we were at the top level, and the coaches were down one level below, and they called the winning play. And there's some high-fiving going on in that press box. They were really happy to see us until we won.
Yeah.
And that changed a whole lot of things. But here's the thing. The Highlands had gotten these buses, these luxury liners, these beautiful, big luxury buses to take down. And they had 2 buses for the team. And the people from Uniontown thought they were really nice. And you know what, those are good. Where do you get those? What's the number you call? We'd like to get those for when we go to Heinz Field. Well, unfortunately, a funny thing happened on the way to Heinz Field, and Highlands beat them that night. And they were so unhappy with losing that the kids didn't have time to shower for their snacks after the game. They needed to get on the buses or go because they were starting to rock.
Well,
it was an ugly sight. It was get on here and get out of here.
Mike, we had the AK Valley Sports Hall of Fame banquet this past Saturday night. I have a cousin who happened to be inducted into that, and for more than 40 years, Rick Tattern has coached the Deer Lakes volleyball team. In those 40 years, he's had 2 state-winning
That's amazing.
Titles. I forget how many WPIAL titles and 11 section titles. That's a lot of winning.
That
and
is.
It was a sport that the guy didn't really, well, he was conned into the job, so he says.
Yes.
They didn't have a coach, and they said, come on, we'll try it a year, see what happens. Fell in love with the game. His first thoughts were, football and, in fact, even baseball. But also Carol Perot's, and I mention this because you had talked about Zendarski over at Highlands with 18 years, so here's Rick Tattern with 40, and Carol Perot's has been there at Valley between softball and basketball and
right,
whatever. But she was also, you remember Solly from Freeport.
Dom Solly, right? And then his son Tom, right?
Came over to talk to me before the dinner got started. Everybody floats around, how you doing, shaking hands, whatever. And he said, when this girl, Carol Perot's, played for him at Freeport, he said it was like just put in an automatic pilot and just let her take over.
Well, she's been
quite
a
an athlete.
terrific coach around for a long
anyway,
time.
our former chairman, Al Euskaritis, was also inducted, so that's 3. I wanted to mention also Mark McLeod. Mark currently helping out with a Valley basketball
Mark's
program.
A good guy, yeah.
Gosh, we had Ed Lynch, the race car driver, and Thompson. I'm trying to remember first name. Thompson, he coached basketball. Freeport, I'm sorry, at Springdale and Deer Lake. Dave Thompson. His son is now coaching, Seth, and his dad, Dave, is helping out. So that's 6, and there's a couple of more here. We had a posthumous award for Paul Sturgeon, and his son Ron turned out to accept that award. And I'm leaving out 1, and I've got 10 seconds to try to come up with the name. Here it is. It's on the back. I thought so. No, that was Sunday's paper. Did you say something, BJ? Okay. Tattern, Thompson,
This is why you're all going to have to turn in Saturday
gosh.
morning at 9 o'clock. And Bob's going to remember.
I'll get it back on.
And Bob's going to, when Bob's going to remember? About 4 seconds after we shut the lights off.
We're going to shut them out right now.
I guarantee it.
Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Pavlin.
Good night, everybody.
For watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.